want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Hello. I'm gonna have a very hard time not looking at myself and looking at the camera. Anyway, okay. We are here. So I had a little idea. I have this problem about twice or 3 times a week, maybe even more. My family and I, we love watching movies. Big movie fans. It's our favorite pastime to do together. Make popcorn, the whole 9 yards. It's great. Problem is, my family and I are Christians, and we always struggle with finding movies that are like decent quality family content, because a lot of like really good Hollywood blockbusters aren't super appropriate, to put it lightly. So what I have been thinking about doing for a while, and I think I'm gonna try this and see if it works, is combine 2 of my favorite things in the whole wide world. Hollywood, movies, and illustrating. So while I'm talking to you about one of my most recent movies that I enjoyed, I will be just doodling away. Just something that I normally do, and you can follow me or whatever. If you have a movie that you want me to talk about, you can let me know, and maybe I'll watch it, depending. I've watched a lot of movies in the last few months. I'm sure we all have been there, so yeah. Basically my whole thing here is that I can save you the hardship of doing research, because that's my job, it's what I do when we want to watch a movie. And I like doing it, I'm happy to do it. But, you know, just proof that we can still enjoy things in life, just more filtered, I guess. Anyway, okay. So, while I'm talking to you, I will have my baby down here, and I will be drawing. So I will include the footage from there onto this screen, probably here. So just to let you know, I use Procreate, just a $10 app on anything. I think you can get it anywhere, and yeah, Apple Pencil. Here we go. So the first movie I wanted to talk to you about is called The Resistance, or just Resistance, I'm not sure. Actually came out early this year, and it was like right smack dab at the beginning of the coronavirus. It only made like $7,600 in the box office. Like, it's so sad. Now, there are mixed reviews on this movie, and I'm not a film critic. I just like movies, so this is just my opinion. Take it or leave it. But this movie, I really, really enjoyed watching. I guess I should be drawing as I'm talking to you. This is gonna be difficult. Okay, so this movie it's a hard watch, I'm gonna tell you. It's not, I would not let your children watch this movie. My family and I, we're adults, so it's fine. It's a hard topic to discuss. Now, the topic is, this is my first time doing this, so you have to be patient with me, okay? I'm gonna get the handle on it, I'm gonna get good at it. So the main discussion is it's surrounding Nazi Germany. Now, I don't enjoy watching movies like this, of this nature, but I really want to stay, like, you know, history and stuff like that is really inspiring to me, to see the people that, you know, against all odds still succeeded and still found life in like the most trying of times. And I mean, I've never had anything like that, like life-threatening or anything. So, you know, I can't even imagine what it would be like to be stuck in Nazi Germany as a Jew and facing these like oppositions. So I like to stay educated, you know, on some of this stuff. I've been to the Holocaust Museum in I believe it was Texas, and it just rocked my world. It was like so heavy and sombering, but I think it's good for us as well, like even as Christians, to stay educated and to like learn about the trauma of people's past. So that's why I really like movies that are based on actual events and people's story. Now this guy, I'm gonna try not to do too many spoilers. So you know what I'm gonna do at the end, there's one scene that I want to talk to you about that I feel like is a little bit of a heads up warning. So at the very end of this, I'm gonna include that so you won't be spoiled too much. So this guy's name's Marcel Marceau, and he actually, like, he had these dreams. He wanted to be like a, what do you call it, like a mime, like a pantomime mime guy. And I think at the time it was pretty much just like Charlie Chaplin that was kind of doing this style of art, which is like, you know, he was kind of like a little bit of a trailblazer in that sense. Like he, you know, he had his like thing that he wanted to do, but at the same time he was kind of like currently actively being oppressed in Germany during this whole Nazi era. And this is kind of like an interesting take on things, because in a lot of the movies that I've seen where people are, you know, heroes like Corey Ten Boom and people like that, they have always like wanted to do something. They didn't want to just sit back and let it happen. They wanted to be a part of the change, and they wanted to, you know, see like the drastic situation become better. And I think the thing about Marcel Marceau is that he didn't really, like, he kind of just fell into this. He was an actor, he was a mime, so he wanted to be in like the play and on Broadway, on stage, and like doing all this stuff. But there was a bigger task at hand, and that task included a lot of Jewish orphans. I think it was hundreds that were in, like, placed in his care. Now, I don't want to go too much into detail and spoil this movie for you, but I'll tell you things that you will not see in this movie. There's zero swearing in this movie. There is some violence, which I will discuss. And as far as like nudity or like sexually suggestive content, there's one scene where there's a couple kissing in bed, but as far as like anything, like, you don't really see anything, which is kind of nice. So it is there is kissing, but the bodies are covered, and it's very, I would say it's modest, as like, you know what I'm saying? It's like the best that you could do, I think. Anyway, so if you want more information about like the breakdown of the violent content and what have you, you can go, there's a couple websites that I refer to the most. Plugged In online is really good. I find it's pretty, like, it's strict, which is like, it's good, but I'm an adult, so like there's some movies that they don't approve that I would be like, I'm okay watching this, like, you know, I know it's not, you know what I'm saying. Okay, so, but if you have a family, Plugged In online is great. It even rates it like light, medium, heavy, I think is what they say. I should be drawing. So yeah, so Plugged In breaks it all down for you. And even like if there's language at all in any film, it'll tell you how many of what words, and just makes it easier. I have like a cap, like there's certain words I can handle, certain words I don't like. So it's all up to you. You decide. You're the viewer. So as I am watching this movie, there's a couple things that I really like wanted to like talk about. So the one thing was Marcel Marceau, the guy that kind of fell into this like role of being like a caretaker of these kids. And it's I think it's really cool because it's like, again, he wasn't looking to like make a difference He wasn't looking to be like part of this resistance. But when it kind of fell into his hands, he took it and he like did way more than anyone ever thought he was going to do. I just really appreciated that, you know, it like for everyday life, you know, you're just, whatever happens to you, you just kind of take it one stride at a time. And that's what he did. And I mean, it's like, I mean, I guess it's just normal everyday life, but I don't know what I'm trying to say. I really like his, the word I'm thinking is moxie, but that's not what I want to say. I like the way that he carried himself and that he included his talents and like the things that he was passionate about in this like really extreme situation. You know, there was times where the kids were really stressed because their lives were in danger. And if there would have been anyone else leading them, I'm sure that it would have been worse. But because it was him and he, you know, he had a passion for making people entertained and laugh and, you know, then it's like, what? That's such a great thing to like include into your life, you know, like let me save some kids and let me be the one to like, at the same time, like make them laugh while they're, you know, facing this horrible childhood that nobody can ever understand. And like, they just lost their parents. Some of them watched their parents die and now they're, you know, hopefully going to a world that they can find some sort of freedom, which I'm not going to tell you what happens because that's a spoiler. So I wanted to tell you, if you're thinking about watching this movie, it does have an R rating, rated R. I think that most of that rating is because of the violence in it. Now, I've seen like a lot of war movies that, and this doesn't even like pale in comparison. Like I would find this actually like what you see in the violence is actually pretty stinking mild, I would say, in my opinion. But the way that these actors carry out their role as like these like vindictive, like evil guys. There's one guy named Barbie. I think it's Klaus Barbie, but they only call him Barbie, and I only remember it because it's funny because he's this evil man and then they call him Barbie. He kind of like has this like oppressive, like, ugh. Like he's, you know, when there's characters in movies that you just, like if I see him in another movie, I'm probably just not gonna like him. Just not gonna like him at all. So the rated R is there because, like Plugged In said, it's not what you see, it's what you feel. So the way that they discuss things, you know, the way like when there's a beating, the way that it's carried out, like there's so much passion put forth in this, like in the way that these actors do these roles, that it almost makes you feel sick. So that would be like a little warning if you have like 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds watching. I would probably say maybe not. Teenagers, like I think could handle it. Like it's not visually violent, but it's felt. There's one scene I'm going to save to the end that I wanted to talk to you about. No, it's just really sad that how little this movie made in the box office, because I really did enjoy it. And again, it's not an easy, like the content's not easy to watch. That's the thing. It's not a light-hearted movie. And hats off to Jesse Eisenberg. I'm gonna tell you, his accent wasn't the best. You can see, like, I mean, accents are hard. I'm not gonna criticize you for that, Jesse Eisenberg. But if you're looking for a perfect accent, you're not gonna find it. Poor Jesse. Anyway. But as far as his acting goes, I'm used to seeing him, like, I mean, I've seen The Social Network and I've seen a couple of other movies, but I'm used to seeing him to be like more of a like lighthearted, you know, kind of character. But Jesse, I feel like he really holds his own in this movie. Maybe not a popular opinion. It did get some bad reviews, I'm gonna tell you. There were some reviews, but as far as like slow moving, like this movie is not. This movie had me ugh. Like, I watched it, it was too late. It was like 10:30, and I had to watch like another something else because I felt like so, like I can't breathe. Just because the acting, like they did such a good job, the way that they carried themselves. Again, I could go on, but I won't. So as far as content, I'm gonna rate this movie, like violence is gonna bring it down a little bit, but I'm probably gonna leave it at like a solid 6. 6 out of 10. As far as language, 10 out of 10. There's zero, nothing. There's nothing. It's nice. There is subtitles, so if you don't like subtitles, don't watch. No, you should still watch. As far as sexual content, inappropriate content, I would rate it like a 9 or an 8. Like, it's not, again, like Plugged In even says, it's nothing that you would raise an eyebrow at. Okay, so the one scene that I wanted to talk to you about that was kind of like difficult to watch was, now this is like a warning, this is a spoiler. If you don't want to watch this, just fast forward past the red frame and then it'll be done. But so there's a scene where the main female character, they get captured by Barbie. And he's kind of this like, again, like he's this like daunting villain who like did a very, very good job portraying the role of this officer. So this is just what I'm trying to do, is give you a moment to see if you want to like not experience this scene. Like, I'm giving you foresight to see that this scene is going to happen. So if you want to fast forward, I would recommend fast forward. Not because, again, this isn't a gruesome scene, but like, let me set the stage for you a little bit. So you've got these two characters that you've completely fallen in love with. They're sisters. They're gorgeous. They're so sweet. And they've been like doing nothing but loving these kids, helping these kids, like wanting to see these kids kind of like be settled and be given another chance at living and like another home. And they're dedicated to this cause. They're falling in love. You know, you're seeing like real human development happening in these characters. Now all of a sudden they're captured by this Barbie guy, and these like strong, like passionate women turn into this guy like just manipulates them into complete like fear and dread. So he brings them into this pool, empty pool, and we've seen the pool already in the movie. So this will be probably the second time. And he stands, there's four of them. 2 girls are like secondary characters. And then we have our girls, our sisters. And they come into this, and they're standing in this pool, and he starts to play this organ, this piano. I had this scene muted because I couldn't watch it. I knew it was coming because Plugged In told me. But Barbie's explaining to one of the girls, I'm not gonna tell you which one because I don't want to spoil it too much, that is going to do some torture to their sister. So also, like, I really commend this movie because they could have gone like next level gore with this scene. They were so respectful in like the maintaining like the gut-wrenching pain of this woman's story without like blinding us with this like Hollywood gore. So thank you for letting us come into the story in that way without like giving us all nightmares. But still, this scene, he doesn't you don't see anything, but it's verbally described what's gonna happen to her in full detail. So that scene, my parents and I decided to fast forward just because it was really heavy to watch. And that's, I think, the thing about this movie. Yes, it was given like the R rating, and yes, it carries this like really like heavy presence about it because of the weight of the story. But at the end, it is something that I would recommend watching if you are not a child and you're, you know, even if you like, it's up to you. If you think that your teenager is able to like process stuff like this, then by all means. Would I recommend this movie? I would recommend it for young adults, even like late teens and adults to watch. I think it's really important that we stay tuned and connect to these stories. And I think it's great that, you know, we got to see Marcel Marceau do this amazing stuff. I think it's important for us to stay on top of stuff and watch stuff like this, because, you know, as great as it's, you know, as much as we love Hollywood for providing us with like so many different levels of entertainment, it's also good that we get to see real life. And I mean, as real as it's gonna get, this is still a Hollywood story. So I'm not saying that every single detail in this movie is accurate by any means, but I am saying that it's very good. And it's a good eye-opener. And I'd say it's worth the watch. I will be bringing you another one, hopefully soon. If you have any suggestions on how I can make this experience a little bit more pleasurable for you, let me know. I do talk in a tangent form. That is my way of communication. And I'm a rambler. So win-win for you. Okay, well, so my plans for this channel is to include reviews like this, and also I do time lapses that I've just started doing of illustrations, a little bit more detailed than what I did today. This is my first one, so you have to be nice to me, please. Okay, well guys, it's been a pleasure. I'm looking forward to next video, and yeah, see ya.